Hello, welcome to Community Connection. I'm your host, Gloria Enloe. Today we're going to talk about a few of the things that are coming up in Jefferson City during the month of April. Springtime is finally here. It's starting to warm up a little bit. Hopefully you've seen the last of the snow, but there are going to be many opportunities for your family to go out and have some fun now that warmer weather is here. One of the great resources we have in Jefferson City for families is the Missouri River Regional Library. And one of the things I love about the library is it is so much more than just books. They have so many programs covering a variety of topics, and one of the things that the library has been really great about lately is topics concerning health, whether it's healthy eating or yoga or just improvement of self as a whole. And to talk a little bit more about that today, we have Claudia Schoonover and local food advocate Margo Ameera. And welcome to the program, you two.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, Claudia, as I said, library is so much more than just books, and you guys have so many programs going on right now. But if we could, for a little bit, just talk about this new healthy initiative it seems to be underway.
We do have a really exciting program, and I love the title. Margo came up with it. It's called Take a Bite Out of Life, Eating Local, Fresh, and Sustainable in Jefferson City. Margo and I are longtime friends. She's been a library patron for as long as I worked at the library, which is going to be 17 years pretty soon. And we put our heads together and wanted to make people more aware of healthy food options here in Jefferson City. We don't want to make anyone feel bad about what they're doing now, but want to present more information. And Margo, I want to include you in on this conversation because she's been such a big part of it, and we've got some really exciting local speakers that she's helped me round up.
Well, Margo, can you tell us a little bit about what is coming up?
Yeah, we've got some fantastic speakers lined up for this program. Margo Ford McMillan is going to be our first speaker on March 26th. And she's an amazing lady. She's an author. She's a tireless advocate and speaker, promoting this philosophy of farm to table way of eating local. And then we have on April 10th, we have our speakers will be Maggie Hopper and Emily Town. Now, Maggie Hopper is the manager of the Lincoln University Farmers Market, which is a fantastic resource here in town that's just, over the last couple of years has started developing, and it's wonderful, and I love it. And then Emily Town is she owns Full Plate Farm here right in Jefferson City, or right outside, and she's very passionate about non-GMO. So she's well known for her eggs, her chicken eggs, and what she feeds them is organic feed. She's very particular about what she's feeding the chickens. So the eggs are spectacular as far as now.
I hear from people all the time that say they have to have fresh eggs. So
It makes a difference when you've had fresh versus store-bought eggs.
Right.
And then on May 15th, we have Penny Shelton, who is not local to us, but she's an online lady who's she does so many incredible things. She's from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I've known Penny for a little over a decade, and she's very active and eating local. And she's
an author.
She's an author. She works tirelessly online to help promote well-being. So, and then me, I'm going to be speaking a little bit about my geodesic aquaponics farm, and called the Sage Garden. and it's going to be really exciting.
And we've got some snacks too it's going to be pretty fun. Daily Greens from the Lake of the Ozarks will be providing snacks on April 10th and the 15th of May. The owner of Daily Greens, help me out.
Yeah, that's Shannon Welchel.
Shannon
She's
Welchel.
a vegan chef at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Margo is going to fix some treats for us next Tuesday, March 26th. We're just really looking forward to this, increasing people's awareness and having fun.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the things I've noticed is when you start talking about food, whether it's local food or vegan versus non-vegan diets, a lot of times people can get really worked up about that because they have very strong held beliefs on both sides of the issue. And I love that you said you don't want to make anyone feel bad about what they're doing now.
No, we don't. We absolutely do not. Margo and I feel very strongly about that. And when we first got together, that was one of the things that we said first and foremost, that we know people get defensive about things. And the library is in the business of providing information. And this is what this program is all about, is providing information, giving people resources. We're going to work on a handout that we'll be giving out and putting up on our website and Facebook and all of that about local resources. We mentioned Margo McMillan, and she is the radio co-host of Farm and Fiddle at KOPN, and she also runs a farm in Albaz, Missouri. It's called Terabella Farms, and so we just think sometimes people just aren't aware of what's just in their own backyard.
Yeah.
And that's what this program's about. It's not about telling anybody what they need to do.
Right. And that's what we try to do too. We try to just let people know what is happening in the community, and they can either go to it or not go to it, or take some of the suggestions and maybe try to change one or two things in their lives. And there might be people who want more farm fresh products and they just don't know that it's available to them.
Where to get them. And just think, if you've just recently moved to this area, and you don't know. And I've lived here for a while, and Margo's told me things that I didn't know about food. So, and I'm sure she could on other topics too. But anyway, thank you for having us here today and for talking about the programs we have at the library, because we really are proud of the programs we have coming up.
Well,
that we have all the time, and we are proud of the things that we have coming up. We have a full month in April, and I'd like to talk about National Library Week.
Oh yes, do, because that's always one of my favorite weeks, and it's something my family and I go to every year. It's kind of like the symbolic start of spring for us, and we can go out and get back in the community and get back involved in things. So please tell us about National Library Week.
Well, National Library Week is a celebration of libraries and what we do. We've got programs all week, but on the 20th of April, we have our big Patron Appreciation Day between 11 and 1, where we have live music and hot dogs, chips, and soda. Not healthy, but we're okay. We're okay with that. We've got some fun things going on during the week. We also replace cards for free. Normally, a replacement card costs $2, but during that week, if you've lost your card and need to replace it, you can come in and do so for free. Some of the other things that we have going on in April, which I think are really exciting, National Poetry Month is in April as well. And we do have a group that meets every other month and reads poetry, their own work or that of a favorite author. But for National Poetry Month on April 11th, we are hosting First Poet Laureate Walter Bargan. He'll be speaking and reading his own poetry, and I think that's going to be really fun. We have several other programs I'd like to highlight if I can.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
We've forged a partnership with the Missouri Extension and are hosting a lot more gardening programs at the library. And so I want people to be aware of those programs. We've got one on tomatoes and irises in the month of April. The master gardeners have to speak and get so many points, credit for doing that speaking. And so speaking at the library helps them, and it helps us too. So it's this great mutually beneficial partnership. And
it helps the city too, because I know there are tons of people in town that love to grow things and have their own gardens, and sometimes it doesn't always work out for them. So they can get some tips on how to do it the right way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These experts are terrific, and it's not the same person every time. The master gardeners have a host of with the community at the library. So please look for more of those programming opportunities with the Master Gardeners. And I know that you and I have talked about films, and former employee George Dillard, who retired and left us at the library.
Oh no.
Yeah, left a hole in the film programming, but we're starting back up again with First Friday Films, and we'll be alternating independent films one month with a feature film the next month. So that's hopefully going to fill the void. We can never replace George, but and then just wanted to point out that there's always a family movie night on the third Friday of the month as well. So
Great. It sounds like there's just so much to do, and you could fill almost your entire social calendar with just library programs too.
I know, when I was thinking about being on here today, I sat down and thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe we have so much going on. I don't know if I can talk about it all in 15 minutes. So.
Well, I really enjoy what you have coming up. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of the things. You know, a lot of things are ongoing things. I know you've had the movies for a while and different classes and programs too. But it sounds like the Master Gardeners thing, that's going to be exciting. And I think it really ties in with what Margo's doing and having the speakers come in and talk about local food options and growing your own food and more healthy eating habits. So it sounds like it's a good partnership there.
Yep, so I just wanted to point out that these programs that Margo and I are co-hosting will be held at 7 o'clock, and they'll run until probably 8:30. You have to be out of the library at 9. And the first one is in the Story Hour room, and the last two are in the art gallery. But just get on our website, call us, become our friend on Facebook, and find out about everything we have going on.
Yeah, and that's people can go to more information either online or to your Facebook page.
Yes.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Gloria.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to have a group here from the Little Theater to talk about what they have coming up this in April. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Wow, great job, guys.
Thanks, Mr. Gordon.
Believe me, you'll be in a lot of races in your life. But don't miss this one. Join me, Jeff Gordon, in the Race to Cub Scouting. It's fun at every turn.
Fun at Cub Scouts. Fun at every turn. Racing cars and million stars. Gotta be some fun at every turn, yeah.
Hey, you missed a spot.
2 o'clock. Okay.
Your employees who serve in the National Guard and Reserve may seem different. They may work a little harder, be more confident, more willing to make the extra effort to get the job done right. So when your employees need time off to serve, remember, it's not just good for our country, it's good for your business.
Glad you could all make it.
Hello, welcome back to Community Connection. I'm your host, Gloria Enloe. This show is produced by JCTV, and the goal is to let people in Jefferson City know what's happening in their community. There really is a lot to do in Jefferson City. You just need to know where to look. During the first half of the show, we talked about some events that are happening at the Missouri River Regional Library. They have a lot of great programs that you can check out. But we're going to talk about something a little bit different this half of the show. We have a group here from the Little Theater. One of the things that's always amazed me about Jefferson City is that for a city this size, I think we have a very big theater production groups. We have several theaters that do performances, Little Theater, Capital City Players, Stained Glass Theater. And so we're going to talk about one viewing option for your pleasure today. And with us we have from the Little Theater, Laramie Thompson. Laramie, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having us. We're excited.
Well, you have a big group here with us today. If you could kind of introduce us to some of the key players.
All right. Directly to my left is Rich Burdge, and Rich is playing the part of Count Paris, who would like to marry Juliet. And speaking of Juliet, Dorea Slagle is Juliet in the play, and next to her is the other love interest, Romeo, played by Joe Schneider.
Well, guys, welcome to the program. It's great having you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Well, Laramie, obviously, you guys are doing Romeo and Juliet, and the Little Theater does a lot of productions throughout the year. Is there anything that drew you to this particular play?
Oh, yes. I taught freshman English for 127 years, or so it seemed. And Romeo and Juliet was my favorite unit, and I love the play, and we have come up with an abridged version because I know a lot of people aren't big Shakespeare fans. So we are going to do the show with one set, and it's going to seamlessly run through all the scenes. We'll have one intermission, and all the actors that auditioned were wonderful, and I just feel as though we have an amazing cast. They are everyone in it. The gentleman who's playing Peter, the servant who can't read, is hilarious. No. We have a gentleman who came in to teach sword fighting. They have learned a Renaissance dance. I think it'll just be entertaining for anybody who would love to see it.
Well, Dorea, you're playing Juliet, and that's a famous role. Is there any pressure that kind of goes along with that?
Yes, there is, actually. It's funny you should say that. That was kind of one of the biggest things I was concerned about, just doing such a well-known character. There's a lot of expectation, and a lot of people kind of have this preconception of who Juliet is. And while that's really good, Laramie and I have worked a lot on just creating someone who the audience will be familiar with, but might be surprised by once in a while. Just so that we're bringing something new and fresh to the table. But it's been really fun trying to figure her out and bring that to the table.
Well, I think it's really interesting that both you and Laramie have kind of touched on that you're doing something a little bit different with this production, and I think that that's important to always kind of keep things new and exciting, even though it's something that's, 400 years old. But, it's been done so many times, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have come up with.
Yeah.
Joe, can you tell us a little bit about your character and basically what brought you to the role?
Well, the character himself is just this love-sick teenage boy. That's all he's got on his mind constantly is just love, love, love. And at the beginning of the show, he's actually rejected by someone he loves named Rosaline, and turns out through a party he finds the true love of his life, Juliet. I've just always loved theater, loved being a part of it, and just having a role like this with such star power behind it lets you think if you can pull off a role like this, you could probably claim to be an actor. So I guess for me, it's mostly a form of proving that I have skills.
It's a challenge.
Yes.
Well, and Laramie talked a little bit too. I mean, you guys have seen fencing coaches and voice coaches.
Yes.
I mean, is doing Shakespeare, is there an inherent challenge in that?
Absolutely. Just the dialogue is so different from what we speak today. So there's just that language barrier. But I noticed within one of our most recent practices that I was understanding what everyone was saying, like I was just talking to you right now.
Becomes almost second nature. All right. Well, Rich, you're going to be playing Juliet's other potential love interest, a suitor at least, Paris. Tell us a little bit about your role.
Well, Count Paris is one of the aristocratic young noblemen in town. He gets along very well with Juliet's parents, especially her father, and basically I think he thinks it's time for him to get married to a suitable young woman. Although I think he really does have a certain affection for Juliet, but no matter how much he tries, he's just not quite the romantic at heart that Romeo is. And so I think that's kind of what puts her off a little bit, probably. But, it's a fun role. I get to go in there, talk to Juliet, do some sword fighting, have a nice dramatic death scenes.
Everyone in Romeo and Juliet has a nice dramatic death scene.
Yeah, so it works out fine.
Yeah. Have you done theater, local theater here in Jefferson City before?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of theater, both here at TLT and over at Scene 1 on High Street for the last 10 years. Basically, I was with Laramie in Death of a Salesman a few years ago. That was a very good show. I've been in things like, well, I directed at Scene 1, Antigone. Yes, I've been in shows at TLT like Noises Off, Caught in the Net. That was a while ago. So yeah, I feel pretty comfortable and really proud of the local theater scene here. I think it's really something a good asset for our community.
It really is. I mean, there's a show pretty fairly often if you look at all the different groups that are doing something, and I think that's amazing for a city this size to have so much variety in the theater that they can choose from. Dorea, tell us a little bit about your past acting experience and kind of what prompted you to try out for this one.
Oh, goodness. I've been doing theater since I was a baby, actually, quite literally. My father was a professional actor for 12 years, and so that kind of just instilled it in me. I grew up loving it. I've done a lot of community theater with TLT, Scene 1, Stained Glass Theater in Missouri. So just a lot of that, lots of school productions, what have you. The thing about Romeo and Juliet that really grabbed my attention, actually a year ago, Terry Schoonover was talking to me about it, and he was like, I think you'd be good for Juliet. And I was in another production, and I was like, it's a lot of words. And he was like, no, but think about it. So I kind of toyed with the idea, and as we got closer and closer, I was really good friends with a couple other people who ended up being in the cast. Melissa Ortega, who plays the nurse, Jake Wise, who plays Benvolio, Fantas Robinson, who plays Prince. And we just kind of all decided to do this endeavor. And I really, of course, thought that it would stretch me as an actress. Juliet is such a complicated character, and Shakespeare, kind of like Joe was saying, the language, it really stretches you, and it requires you to try something new that is not normal and not something you're necessarily comfortable with. So I was like, well, all right, I'll go for it. I worked with my coach, Shay Marie Eichhoff, and I came to auditions, and I lucked out. So
she earned the role. She didn't luck out.
Well, thank you.
Well, Joe, do you have experience with local theater as well?
I've been associated with Little Theater for about 2 or 3 years now, and I've made sure to try and get active with any theater crew in Jefferson City that I could. I think I started, my first show was in 2nd grade over at my inter-parish school, and I've just done something almost every year since.
Well, it sounds like a lot of you have a lot of experience in theater, a lot of background in it, but Laramie, is this something that maybe someone who doesn't have a lot of experience or has never been involved in theater can get involved in as well?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, we have a couple people in the cast, who've not been in productions before. One young lady, Scarlett Churchill, came on, and she's going to be at the dance, and she's also going to be Count Paris's page in the last scene. And I have so many new people working on crews also. We are renting many costumes, which is a huge part of our budget, but because we also have extras, we have to make costumes. And we have 3 ladies, Shay Marie Eichhoff, Jennifer Freelick, and Renee, Barnes, who are there all the time sewing on costumes. And they are, I mean, you would not believe the quality of what they are doing. So yes, if you don't want to get on stage, there's all kinds of things to do off stage. And if you want to try on stage, John Wells acted in college, and he said, I decided to just come back and try it, and he is wonderful.
I would also mention Melissa Ortega, who's playing
yes,
the nurse.
We all have mentioned her.
She said she hasn't acted since high school, and she is amazing.
She's fantastic. I love Melissa.
We have many, many excellent people, and if you don't get a great part the first time, there's always another show coming up that you can try for.
Well, one thing I noticed about you guys when you came in is it seems like, and then when you talk about your fellow castmates and the crew members, it seems like you guys are almost like a family, a really close community. So it seems like there's some benefit in that too, just getting out and getting involved.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it does. it's been compared to either a family or the mafia.
Which is a family too.
Right. It's totally true.
Once you get in, you can't get out type of thing.
Yes.
And everyone involved in this production is just so nice. It's nice people. We have no divas. We have no negative people. It is just delightful Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday evening to go to rehearsal and work and play together.
We have a lot of fun as well. There's lots of laughs. It's very relaxed. It's not, some people think of theater as like this really intimidating, like, no, you will do this kind of thing. And it's really not.
Or super stuffy.
At least not here. No, it's really fun and it's fairly laid back. Of course, there's time to work and a time to play, but it is definitely something we all do together and enjoy.
And I would like to point out that even though this is a tragedy, there is a lot of humor in this show, especially the first half.
Yeah, something Shakespeare always did kind of well.
Agreed.
Leave you crying at the end, but you get a few laughs along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, Laramie, tell our audience, if you could, when the show is going to be and how they can get tickets for it.
Okay. The show will be at the Miller Performing Arts Center on April 18th, 19th, and 20th. And tickets are available for membership already, but on April 1st, they'll be available to the public. And there will be order forms in the newspaper, or you can call the Jefferson City ticket line. And the box office will be open the whole week of the show from 5 until 7 p.m. at the Miller Center.
Oh, in the Miller Center. You guys couldn't ask for a better venue than that, I don't think. It's
so
beautiful there.
Yeah.
I love Miller.
And comfortable, and really with the sound system we have now, there is not a bad seat in the audience.
Great.
The architecture really plays a good hand with
Yes.
Romeo and Juliet as well.
Yes, it does.
Because we'll be using the stairways up to the stage, and Mark Wittenberger, our set construction, is working on the balcony scene as we speak. The balcony, which will be exciting, especially if you're a little bit afraid of heights.
Well, it also sounded like, I mean, you talk about building sets and having a fencing coach and vocal coaches. It's just amazing that you have all those resources locally, too.
Yeah.
Oh, we are so fortunate.
Yes.
And everyone, practically everyone, this is all volunteer. The hours they put in, these ladies stitching away, it's amazing.
Well, Laramie, if someone wants to learn more about the Little Theater, maybe for future shows or get involved in the future, where can they go to find out more information?
Well, we do have a website, tltjc.org, which gives all kinds of information about upcoming events, auditions, and plays, and that would probably be the best place to get in touch with us. We are all volunteers, so we have no one at the building all the time. Our ticket people come in and work on things in the evening. So probably the website, www.tltjc.org.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank you for having
Gloria.
us.
Thank you so much.
We'd like to thank our audience at home for watching Community Connection. I'm your host, Gloria Enloe. Don't go anywhere. We have more great JCTV programming coming your way.